All right, I'm here with Fonda Bryant. She's a new friend of mine. Fonda, how you doing?
I'm doing okay today. I hope you're well.
I am. Thank you for asking. And you're located where?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, Charlotte's beautiful. I've been there. I love that place. The reason why I brought you on is because I saw a story. There's a football team that I follow, and the story was that you saw a tweet from a member of this football team, just a tweet, and you recognized immediately the signs that he was in trouble. Now, you're a QPR certified instructor to help people, help companies prevent suicide. And let's say that I'm working with someone and they're sending me an email or they're sending me a message through a collaboration platform. What would I recognize? How would I be able to tell that someone is struggling?
Well, people always say there's tones and emails and text messages. One thing with the training that I do, it gives you this sense of kind of knowing what's wrong. If you have a gut feeling or that spider sense is tingling, then if you read a text message or email that doesn't seem right, then you go to that person if you can. And if they work with you, in that physical sense, you can go to them. But if not, you can always email them back and say, hey, is something going on with you? Are you all right? A simple question can open the whole door to what's going on with someone. But you also have to realize you cannot be judgmental when you're talking to someone, because if
Yeah.
you're judgmental, it's going to change the whole conversation.
And I think that's the concern that someone's going to have. So let's say they're in this situation and they perceive that. I think someone's going to say, well, wait a minute, this isn't my place, or I'm not going to say the right thing. I'm not going to do it in the right way. And by the way, I want to encourage people to reach out to you to get your full training so that you can come in and help people know this. I just want people to have a little bit of a taste because this is such an important issue. So what's something I should do, and maybe what's something I should avoid if I'm reaching out to someone that I feel maybe is struggling?
Well, the first thing is I ask again is to not be judgmental and
Mm.
to really show that you care about that person and be willing to help that person. So the first thing that you would do is just plain conversation. Are you okay? Are you all right? Would you like to talk? And in the workplace, people go to lunch together all the time, coworkers and things. Say, hey, let's go grab some lunch. Let's go grab some coffee. Take them away from the workplace and put them in a comfortable place, and also be willing to listen. And I know
Mm.
that's hard for some people just to listen, but sometimes that's what you have to do to find out what's going on with that person. And that person will appreciate being able to talk to someone who's not going to judge them and willing to listen to what's going on with them.
Yeah, it sounds like the first step, even before something happens, is you're creating a safe place, that you are a safe place, someone that someone feels comfortable opening up to.
Definitely. I mean, I cannot tell you how many strangers or people that I've worked with, they open up to me because they know I'm not going to judge them. That is the first line. They know that I care. You could be working with a CEO or anyone in a higher position. But hey, we all struggle, and mental health does not care if you're a CEO or administrative assistant. And if you feel like someone's in trouble, no matter what level they're in, approach them and say, hey, are you all right? You'd be surprised at one question, how it can really help someone.
So, what got you interested in suicide prevention specifically?
26 years ago, I almost died by suicide. Had no idea I was struggling with depression because I was raised that in the Black culture, it's pray about it, don't claim it, give it to God. It's a sign of weakness. And that's pretty much how people of color look at it. So, when you're raised that way, you don't embrace mental health. And when you are trying to help someone of culture, you have to make sure you know how that culture views mental health and suicide, because
Mm.
if not, it can cause problems.
Yeah, and part of the reason why I'm interested in it is because this is something that I've dealt with. I have dealt with severe depression my whole life and suicidal thoughts my whole life. Now, thankfully, I'm in a much more stable place, but it's always there. It's always a voice in the back of my head. And at least in my case, I found that it was very physiological. It wasn't. It was less about the circumstances of my life, more just brain chemistry that I was dealing with.
Definitely. And that's what I'm dealing with. I was diagnosed with clinical depression.
Mm.
If I hadn't gotten the help, if my aunt hadn't helped me to get the help, I would not be here. And I always tell people too, it's a fight every day. It's a journey. There's no magic pill. There's no magic words the therapist is going to say. You got to be willing to put in the work, and it's exhausting at times. But I tell people all the time, if you're willing to put in the work and do what you need to do, You can get better, but you got to also realize the stigma is what keeps a lot of people from getting help.
Yeah, we need to get rid of that stigma. It's around people more often than they realize. So let me ask you a question. When I first looked this up, I saw QPR. So what is a QPR certified instructor? What does that mean?
Well, you know what CPR is. You use that to save someone's life if they're having a heart attack, something like that. QPR is for someone who's in crisis or suicidal. It's the same thing. You're saving someone's life. PR stands for question, persuade, refer. It teaches you how to recognize someone who's in crisis or suicidal and how to be able to persuade them to get the help that they need. It also teaches you how to gauge your own mental health. What's going on with you? Do you need help? So it's a great, great tool. It's very positive. It's very upbeat. And in 2 hours, you can learn how to save someone's life.
That's beautiful. And as you're saying that too, I think it's also about more than just mental health. It's teaching you a skill that's useful in every circumstance. We need to listen more. We need to ask questions more, right?
You definitely do. And you also need to have compassion, empathy, and kindness. A smile can hide a lot of pain. And we come to work a lot of times trying to hold it in. You know that old saying, don't bring your personal problems to work and don't bring your work problems home. You can only do that if you're two people. If somebody upsets you at home, you're going to bring that to work. I'm sorry. You might try to do your work and get through the day, but it's still going to be at the back of your mind. And if you have supervisors who don't have that empathy and compassion and don't ask you if you're okay, it's very, very hard. And I'm going to tell you something, Dave. I have had times where my depression is kicking my butt, where I can't go to work. But, you can't call in and say, well, you know what? I am dealing with depression today, because we're treated differently. So we make up an excuse, a physical excuse, which mental health is physical anyway, because the brain is an organ. But we feel like, and we know that people will accept more. Hey, I got a stomach ache. My throat's sore. I got a cold. They'll accept that. But you call in and say, hey, well, I'm dealing with depression. I can't get up out of the bed today. That's a different thing to deal with. And a lot of employers still don't know how to deal with that because of the stigma and because they believe that people with mental health conditions were violent, were crazy. And again, it goes back to stigma, and we got to get rid of that.
Yeah, you're speaking my language. When you say the brain is the organ, that's where I come from. We need to treat it with the same respect we treat our heart, we treat our lungs. We need to, deal with it that way. So, okay, this has been beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Fonda. I really want some companies to hire you, to bring you in. So I'm going to put your link in the comment section, also in this. Follow Fonda, reach out to her, and bring her in. You could do it virtually, right? You don't have to leave.
I've been training virtually, and I've had my shot, so I can actually come in and train. But I encourage everyone to take this training, because see, a lot of times people think, oh, it can never happen to me. You don't think it can happen at the workplace, because people a lot of times think it's an isolated incident. We are losing over 132 Americans a day, over 22 veterans a day. And for each completed suicide, there are 25 attempts that come to close to 4,000 Americans dying every day by suicide. We look at the crime rates and the shootings that are going on across the country, here in Charlotte, Chicago, across the country. Do you know that more people die by suicide than car deaths and homicides in the United States? We are in crisis. But the positive out of this is suicide is the most preventable death of all deaths if people would just care enough to get educated. Education and caring is the key. So I'm always asking people, what is 2 hours out of your day if the time is spent learning how to save someone's life?
Yeah, we're going to save lives. We're going to become better leaders. We're going to become more compassionate people. All of those benefits from it. So, Fonda, thank you so much for coming on and sharing some wisdom with us. And it's been great getting to know you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. And I hope everybody listening will say, hey, our company needs this training, because everyone does. Everyone.